the whole thing of like get under someone to get over someone else doesn't work for me.
No.
Now I'm just crying while you're trying to have with me. I'm crying at the club. Like, send me home.
Welcome back to another episode of Thanks to Your Concern. You're here with Ella.
And I'm Berenice.
Hey, girly, what is up?
Oh, what is up? What is down? Still making these outfits for Elements. I'm going to be part of the art team. I'm volunteering. No paid position for me this time, but that's okay. It is my first year going to Elements. I swear to God, you guys have to manifest some more, because last year I was like, I'm not going back to another festival until I goddamn get paid to be there. Like, I'm some sort of team. Like, there has to be a higher calling why I'm there. And then I went to Electric Forest, which is like a new festival I'd never been to, and I got paid to be there. And now I'm going to Elements. I could get paid to be there. I decided I didn't want to, just because of well, as it turns out, working festivals is like really a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially as like in the vendor world, you just have to get there really early and like set up, and then you are basically like a retail employee for the entire festival. So it's not like you actually enjoy the festival. You're just there to work, obviously. So this time around, because I'm volunteering for the art team, like pre-festival, never done that before either, and I really want to like build connections. I also just decided that I wanted to have like some time to myself. I was like, you know what, I feel like I reached my goal of like going to these things. I'm gonna have 3 days where I'm like working, making connections, and maybe I can just give myself 3 days to like enjoy this shit.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm excited. I definitely don't know, like, I see the worth in having my stuff at a festival. I think that would be the only type of world that I could see myself on the vendor side, is if I owned like merchandise there. Just because I hate retail. Okay, I hate it. But like, if I had to do it because I had, skin in the game, I'd be there. Yeah, so things that we learn. It's also like, just because you're like not in you're in a tent. You hear me? So it's like, I'm in a tent for 7 to 8 days. I'm not in my house. Everything, I'm tired, I'm dirty. It's just a lot. So now I want to figure out if like being on the art team at festivals and like meeting people who do the art installations there, if that's maybe like a path that I want to get into, or maybe festivals is just something I enjoy going to every once in a while. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. I'm down for a good time. I'm down for a hang, but I don't know yet. So we're figuring that out in the grand scheme of things. But I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm gonna make some cool outfits. I'm trying to fit time to make something, at least like one really cool outfit for myself. We'll see what happens.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, how
I'll
are you?
I'll have to connect you with my aunt and all her burner friends.
I don't know. I don't know if Burning Man is for me. Like, I'm curious to it. I've opened myself up to the idea. However, I don't know. Like, I've met a lot of people this year that were performers there, so I think like that's why it's been a little bit more like, should I go? But I'm not gonna lie, they're all white, and I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be for me.
I started watching the Burning Man documentary, and like, I personally feel like I'm very spiritual, very woo-woo. But then I like realize that like the shit runs really deep, and like deeper than I feel like I go. And like, maybe I just haven't met myself there yet. But then there's also a part of me where I'm like, dude, bills have to be paid. Like, I love this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I am with you. And the thing is, I like have never I like camping where there are resources that you can utilize, like in the woods, in the mountains. This is a straight up desert. Like, there are no resources other than yourself and other people, and like I don't know. Maybe in a few years you'll see me there, or maybe you won't. That's
It's like
really kind of,
it's like
if
a
it
Hunger.
finds me.
Yeah. I think it's more like a Hunger Games arena I don't think I would excel in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would do well in forest, desert. No, I have contacts. I just don't think it's for me.
Yeah, and that's been my predicament for the longest. I was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do with my contacts if they get dusty? Like, I'm not gonna be able to see. So there's more cons than pros.
At this point.
Yeah, I just like, I'm not into the drugs, man. I'm not. So I'm gonna be raw dogging this. I'm gonna be like fully sober at Burning Man, which obviously live, love, love. I think that's totally cool. I don't see it yet, but maybe you'll find me. I don't know.
Maybe it'll find you.
Yeah.
Don't manifest it or it'll happen.
Right? I'm a
Make sure, be
witch.
careful. You guys, so I'll just like a little, not a little life update, but fucking the government sent me my email that says, hey, you're gonna have to start paying this money back. You owe us fucking money. Um,
Right.
bitch, come out your pockets. And I just want to say, like, I think there's like a lot of shame related to student loans. I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's your fucking fault you took out those loans, you dumb bitch, so you should pay them back. And like, I just want to say, I don't buy into that narrative, and I feel like that you shouldn't feel like you did the wrong thing by taking out student loans, because in like my perspective, student aid packages came out to me when I was in high school, and I just kind of assumed like, oh, I am like I am so poor, I'm going to get a full ride scholarship. That was kind of my assumption because I like was in that little class. And the truth is that's just not the reality. Like they give you some scholarships unless you're like a part of like the ultra. I didn't even know at the time there were colleges that were need blind. So there's like certain like echelon of colleges that like no matter what, if you can't pay, we will pay for you, right? I didn't apply to those colleges. I don't know why. Well, actually, I just didn't know about it, right? And so I took a year off. I did community college, and I worked like 60 hours a week, and I only made like $45,000 that year, which I was like, oh my god, like I'm working 60, 70 hours a week, and I only made $45,000. Like I have to go to college because I just didn't see another way out, and the only way I could have gone to college was with like some student debt. And so then, like, I can really relate to people who had the same choice as me. And I think everyone on the internet is like, fuck you, you took those loans out. I had to pay my loans back. Or fuck you, you could have gone into a trade, because I'm the type of girly who would be a plumber, you know? And so if you got the same email of you owe us money, pay us back, I think I'm sorry if you can't afford it, because I know a lot of people are not in the position to afford this debt, but don't take it as like a personality fault that you wanted to further your life, and the way you did that was through student loans.
What happens if you don't pay? Do they just like build up interest?
They build up interest, they'll garnish your wages, they'll get their money.
Bastards. Education should be free. However,
Totally.
I do think that if you're gonna take out loans, please finish the career. Okay, go to school.
Oh, for
Get
sure.
the
You gotta
get the
do it.
degree. If not, it's like not fucking worth it because those will haunt you forever.
I have like the least amount of student loan debts that I think most people have, and I'm able to afford them. And to be honest, I literally doubled, tripled my income because of taking out these loans. So the ROI is there. I just think that student loans can be really
Dawning.
daunting, is really big, but also like you're 18, and I don't think you have the concept of debt or money, because
Yeah.
I tell this story all the time. Our university was like, hey, an econ student graduating, you should make $75,000 on average. And I was like, oh, I'm an above average student, like 75K starting out, and I'm an above average student. Like I'll at least make 75K. Babes, first job, $15 an hour. Okay. And then that was only because minimum wage was $15 an hour in Seattle. So I essentially took a
Could have been
minimum,
less.
look, it have been less. I took a minimum wage job after looking for, I think I looked for 8 months for I think I had like an 8 month job search. I applied to over 1,000 jobs. I literally had a part-time job of applying to jobs, and it's really hard to get your foot in the door. And finally, Berenice was like, be fucking for real. Come work with me. It's $15 an hour, but it's something. And it opened up a lot of doors for me. So it's like, I'm so thankful that like I took that, that Berenice was like, take this opportunity. And I listened.
Listen, okay? I was my dumbass being like, yeah, I'll take anything really worked out for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
I brought in, I honestly, I should have gotten commission. Like, I recruited so many people to this contract position, being like, there is a chance that this leads to a full time position. Now, did they tell me that there was only going to be two full time positions opening from like 15 contractors? No,
Even more than that, dude. There was like 30
there were
of us,
so many
and there was like
contractors.
maybe one FTE position to two
Yeah.
a year. That's insane.
But I will say that that ended up opening a lot of doors for everybody because it's a known company. Like, it's a very popular company. It was a
Fortune
corp.
500, you
Yeah,
know?
and it was a corporate position. So even if you were a contractor or not, you were doing the same shit as a full time person, and you weren't
Yeah.
on the merchandising team. So everybody now has a lot bigger merch jobs. Like, everybody's successful that took that contracting position. I don't think anybody got the shit out on the stick on that. But we did get those two full time positions out of I don't
I,
know, 30 contractors.
upper epsilon. And you know what? This is my number. I didn't know this at the time, right? So I didn't think I was going to get this FTE position, not because I didn't believe in myself, but there were so many people in front of me as far as tenure in these contracting positions that I was like, there's no way I'm getting this. Like, I've been here for 6 months. And one question they asked me, they were like, so where do you see yourself in this company? And I was like, I want to be the VP of strategy. I was like, I want to be the VP of strategy. This is how I see myself getting there. This is how I feel like my experience would make me a good candidate to be a VP of strategy. That is very forward thinking for an entry level position.
I mean, I was up there with you. I was like, I'm gonna be a buyer. I'm gonna be a buyer. 5 years max. Like, I'm ready. Like,
And
delusion
then
got us places.
and I talked to everyone else who didn't get the job, and they all said to that question the job right above, like one promotion. And so, like, the person who hired me was like, I can see that you have vision to stay here for the long term, which at the time I did, but they fucked with my bag too much. Anyways, but let me tell you that I still carry that in every fucking job interview. It's like you have to have a long term plan at this company. You can't just be like, I want this job. It's like, what do you want? Like, the momentum.
Yeah, you really gotta lie. At least for me, I was definitely lying, and I was also lying in my next job, and I think that's what they wanted to hear. And then when I stopped lying is when they didn't like that. But but sometimes you just gotta show a little delusion to get in the door. Okay.
Okay. And like, honestly, this like leads into our theme. What got us moving forward? What got us over things?
Yes. We did get over the fact that we were unemployed with this job, thank God. But there's been some other things that have helped me move on from bad relationships, from bad spots, from bad decisions. I think my number one has always been like, along with delusion, like affirmations, like things that feed the delusion, right? Because some things gotta keep the vibe up.
Oh yeah.
You have any good affirmations that kept you going?
I am hot, I am successful, I am happy.
I like that. I think mine's came a little bit more when I was in like the depths of my despair. I tend to be a positive person. Sometimes the vibe is low. Mine is just more like, I choose to move with love when people burn me.
That's so dramatic.
Don't turn into this harsh person. Well, because listen, okay, when I moved to New York, I was really met with a lot of vile fucking people, including some of like my past friendships. And I think that I was really hurt by a lot of things, and I could see myself like fundamentally like changing as a person, being very cynical, being very bitter, just like very hurt. And I saw how jaded people move, and I don't necessarily I didn't want that for me. So I was like, regardless of how these people are treating me, like, I have to choose to like not move like that, because it's easier to move like that than it's easier to like move with love. So that was a big one for me. And just like, regardless of like the things around me, like, this is who I am and this is how I'm gonna act. Which I think in any situation, that's how you should keep.
Yeah, I think my big affirmation is the world is moving in my favor.
Ooh, I
I
like
think
that.
if you feel like the world is against you, you have an uphill climb. If you think that the world is against you, that like bad things only happen to you because it's you, that's like a really bad mentality to be in. And so I choose the exact opposite, which is like people assume good intentions and assume that the world is going to move for you, not against you.
I'm with that. I think mine was like, things are not happening to me, they're happening for me. We're keeping it positive here, okay? Again, delusion is key. Just the fundamental belief that like something is going to be so much better on the other side of things. It's easier said than done, but eventually it will be.
The thought that all my delusional dreams are achievable with time. Everything I want to do, I can do, but I have to put in the time and dedication to do it. And it might take time for it to happen. Nothing's going to happen overnight. And there's like not a such thing as an overnight success. There's like a lot of countless hours of effort to be successful. And sometimes in like the hard moments where I just feel like, fuck, this is fucking shit. It's like, you know what? This is all a part of the plan. It's all a part about the true Hollywood story, the struggle. There's no good story comes without struggle.
I mean, I think that, like pain and suffering is for everybody. It doesn't discriminate. It will
Mm,
find you. And I think that sometimes holding on to those things really takes away from like just living a better life in general, like opening yourself up to new experiences. I definitely can't hyperfixate on things like didn't work out or like people that didn't, like serve me, didn't like treat me right, whatever experiences in general. And I think what I have found is that like once I'm able to like kind of let those things go, I really just like open myself up to like a new chapter and like things change a lot. Like once I'm able to release that, like life starts like girl on we're on to something new, and I value that a lot. And I think sometimes when I talk to other people, like family members, close that are friends that are close, and I can see that they're carrying the weight of like maybe their family dynamics when they were younger, like shit like
mhm.
that. I'm like, oh my god, girl, you need to let that go. Like it's weighing you down. It's like literally like making you more negative, like it's making you choose relationships in your life that are reflective or your traumas. Like that was a big affirmation for me that I told myself. I probably for the first 3 years that I moved to New York, I was like, I'm worthy of love that's not reflective of my traumas. Like that was really big for me.
Oof.
Just because I put myself in like such terrible fucking relationships, like back to back to back. Like I got tired of my own shit. Um, and I think that that helped because it reminded me that a bitch, yes, I have trauma. Two, usually the things that you choose are reflective of them, and three, I have to choose different. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like your actions are the only ones that you can control. So choosing to kind of like change that mentality that you're aware and we're like pushing it forward.
I think that I've let go of a lot of things because I'm like, it could be worse. And that might be a bad mentality, but I truly feel like you never know what other people have gone through. And so you could be like looking at someone and complaining about like something that happened, and you have no idea what the fuck they're going through and how stupid you sound complaining about what the fuck you're complaining about. So you can just like choose to not care, like, and not let it affect you. It's hard, like it's hard to do that, but I just mean that you get to choose where you put your energy and attention. Like you can choose to put your energy and attention to negative things about like getting cut off in traffic, or you can literally just like let it go. It's a practice that you have to practice, but it is like possible. And like I literally, one of my like affirmations is that I believe in like brain elasticity, as in like you can change yourself and you can change the way that you think and thus how you move in the world. Like it's possible. Like the brain changes. Um and I think I have to believe in that, you know, because it's like I can't believe that I'm going to be exactly the same person with no personal growth for the rest of my life, or I'm going to be in the exact mental space for the rest of my life. It's like I like brain elasticity of your brain changing, and your that is a real thing that I kind of have to hold on to if I want to hope that I'll have a different mindset. And what I mean by that is like getting over mental health struggles and things like that. Like it's possible.
It is, and I think it just comes with time. Like when they say time heals all, honestly, it does. New
Yeah.
perspectives come with time. For me, at least, with some of the relationship things, I think it was like reflective of some of the type of relationships that I had with my mom, and some of the hurt, some of like bottling my feelings, not really speaking on those. And I think over time I learned how, like, I unlearned that behavior where I was like, I'm not suffering in silence, bitch. Like, we're suffering out loud. And I think that that helps soothe a lot of like the anxiety and like the depression that I was feeling, because once you name a feeling, for some reason, at least for me, like when I'm having really bad anxiety, as soon as I tell somebody that, I feel like a weight off my shoulders. And I don't know if that's just like my brain like being like, oh bitch, we're not dying, we just have anxiety, and you know that this is anxiety that releases, at least for me, like naming the feeling and being able to communicate, because those were not things I was able to do before. So sometimes in order to actually move on, you got to act like the complete opposite from where you did before.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big way of your life telling you we got to do shit a little different because it wasn't working out before. We got to change the vibe here.
Okay. So, like, with changing the vibe, one of my most practical tips for moving on is rearranging furniture and like cleaning. Okay. Let me tell you, changing the vibe by literally changing around the furniture. I know it sounds like so weird, but like energetically, it feels different. So I feel like your brain's like, okay, like fresh, like fresh, new, different. And so if you clean your space and then rearrange the furniture and maybe switch out a couple pieces, like, like you get rid of a couple things, maybe buy a new piece of art so that it just feels energetically different. I feel like that's how you can move on. And you can be like, I'm in my clean girl era. I'm in my chair over here era. And it might seem simple and stupid, but I swear to God, it works.
I am with you. I think sometimes you need to rearrange the vibe. I also
Yeah.
think like cutting the hair rearranges the vibe, dyeing the
Mm-hmm.
brows. Like, I am pro looking like what you're going through. And I think people should do it more often, because at the end of the day, like, you're expressing something. As an artist, I think expressing it helps you let that shit go. So if that, whatever the fuck that means for you, like if tomorrow you decide the hair's got to be pink because now I'm a pink girl, then you have to be a pink girl. And pink girls act differently.
Dude, do a closet clean out or wear something that you've been
Yeah.
needing to wear, but you're like, I don't have an occasion to wear that. No, I don't believe in an occasion dress. I think you can make anything an occasion. All right. Like, your life is your life, and like, you should be able to dress up for it if you want.
You can literally just put it on and go take photos of yourself outside with a tripod.
Girl, yes. Talk about getting over
Why not?
something. Hot girl photo shoot.
30 days of thirst traps.
It always comes down to the 30 days of thirst traps. We always circle back to it.
Exposure therapy. I will say though, there are things that have not worked for me, at least, in moving on. Okay, the whole thing of like get under someone to get over someone else doesn't work for me.
No.
Now I'm just crying while you're trying to have sex with me. I'm crying at the club. Like, send me home.
You're adding energy, like attachment. I literally believe in like attaching yourself energetically to another person, okay? And so it's like you're like getting over someone and you attach energetically to somebody else, but you're not over the other person. It just gets emotionally heavy and messy.
Yes, I do believe that there is something psychology wise that does work with that. I don't think though that it has to be romantic. Like, detaching yourself from someone can just mean like working on your attachments to the people that make you feel safe and loved. So you can like really tell the difference.
Yeah, it's like anytime you're like, oh, should I text them? Why don't you like fucking text your mom and dad? Do you know what I'm saying? Someone who will be appreciative of
Your
that text
friend
message.
whose text message you haven't replied to in weeks.
Right?
Okay.
Like, you're trying to fucking decide whether to text this dude who isn't going to text you back. Or if he does, it's going to be fucking foul. Okay? It's like when there's plenty of people that would be very enthusiastic from a text message from you. It never goes wrong to pour energy into yourself. No one has ever in the history of everdom been regretful of investing in themselves, like energetically. Like, are you taking care of yourself? Are you like doing something that you love? Are you gonna go try something new to expand your worldview? Like, no one ever regrets those types of choices, but they do regret texting their ex.
Period. Eat, pray, love. Don't text them. You know what has also not worked for me? No, like, forcibly no contact. it just has never worked for me. Again, I need to express to release. I am way more of a burn the bridge person. I'm gonna express myself until you cut me off. No, but but you gotta do what works for you. I definitely don't, because when I do like no contact, I swear to God, like somewhere in my nervous system, I haven't let, and if I haven't let that shit go, the second I see you, it just sparks those feelings of anger or whatever like I haven't worked through. It's not cute. But then if I act on those, I burn some bridges like that, and that has really helped. Like I've had no contact periods, and then I see that person, and then I'm reminded like, wow, they really lied to me and I left that shit with a lot of grace. You know what? Let's go stand up for myself. Make a minor scene. Have I regretted that? Honestly, no. No, because at the
Mm-mm.
end of the day, again, I had to express myself. Did I tell that boy he was a liar? Yeah. Was it true? Yeah.
Did he tell all his friends I was crazy? Sure, but did they know
Whatever.
deep down that I wasn't?
And the
Yeah.
thing is, I don't even care. I don't even
Yep.
care. Like, why? And that's another thing that has not worked for me is hanging out with the people around them. Like, sometimes, especially when I moved to New York, I would get in these, like, situationship or sorts and relationships with people in a bigger, that, like, I had a bigger group of friends in. So they were, like, my friend groups, but then I was also had a complicated relationship with somebody. And now that I see other people kind of doing the same thing, I was like, you have to let go of all of these people. They come as a package. That's why I always
Mm-hmm.
recommend, like, if you have a group of friends that you like, don't date anybody. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's just a recipe for disaster. Because if that person's like not ready to meet you, it just makes it about time to hang out with those people. Because especially for me, like I'd be kind of like fishing, trying to see if they had anything like they wanted to say to me, because I knew I was like hanging out with their best friend. Like it literally made me like a psycho in the terms of like I just felt cuckoo bananas. I just felt like super insecure while I was like hanging out with their friends. And I just don't think I needed to put myself through that. And I think that it made the healing process just linger longer than being like, all right, I'm gonna take like a break from hanging out with everybody and seeing how I
Mm-hmm.
feel about it. I think I put a lot of situations where that person was like okay with having me around, but not wanting a commitment and things like that. And in me staying in that friend group, it did allow them to have like access to me. And I think it just like furthered the feelings of like, oh yeah, this person like doesn't want me, but like is okay with having me around. Like almost that almost hurts more than like this person thinks I'm a crazy ass bitch because I told my truth and doesn't want me around. I
Right.
choose that route.
What doesn't work as well is trying to expect other people to do like I don't know, it's like controlling other people's actions isn't possible, right? So it's like
Yeah.
the less people that you involve in the expectations of moving on. So like friend groups, it's really hard to have 12 people like basically help you 12 people help you move on by not talking to this other person. That's really difficult and hard to achieve and is probably not possible. But what is possible is for you to like remove yourself from a situation or for you to look at yourself like, how am I going to heal from this without anybody else? Like, you can't ask someone else to help you heal.
Yeah. And I think with that, it also comes down to like tolerance by other people. I think that I stayed in these like hurtful situations because at the end of the day, I was like, they all know how he's moving and like how he treats me, and they're all cool with that. You know what I mean? Like, they're still
Mm,
hanging out with them. And I didn't love that. And I think like by me being like, well, it's not about them, I was just like not prioritizing myself. And at the end of the day, I don't really like friend groups like that. You know what, I realized that I was like, I feel like I am making excuses for, I don't feel like you have to cut people off, but I do feel like, hey, like I voiced that like this person was like kind of shitty to me and you don't seem to mind at all. You know, like no one's calling them out, no one's standing up for me. Like how much of it is it like a communal behavior that we're cool with this type of vibe? And I've never been that type of friend. Like I think whenever something happens
mm,
to my friends, I'm like, hey, that's not okay. Like I either say something or you just won't see me with that group of people, because I really see how men treat women and how even women sometimes treat women because they carry misogyny. And I decide whether that's a good trait and values of a friend. for me.
It's really funny because I've been so disappointed in people because it's like I have cut off like I've cut off people for I'm not gonna say very little, but if you tell me that you had a really bad experience with someone and they were really shitty to you, to me, I have no reason to be friends with that person because I don't want to be friends with shitty people. But then the tables turn and it's like I guess I don't know, it's just not reciprocated.
Yeah,
And it's like, damn, you're like, damn, it kind of makes you a little jaded, but then it just kind of makes you realize that like those are like my values and I can live by my values. And I think to get over something, if you know like who you are, what your morals and values are, and you're like making choices that align with that, I don't think you'll regret it.
I agree. And you will end up finding like better people at the end of the day that like align with your values. Cause I don't know. I think like sometimes when you step away from groups of people that like you're trying to jive with, you start seeing things a little bit more are as they are. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, they actually don't have a lot of female friendships. Wonder why, bitch. Wonder why.
Yeah.
In that, no contact also doesn't work for me because and I have to kind of like force to work through stuff because I believe in Mercury retrograde, and Mercury retrograde is always gonna bring people back for me no matter what. I used to fear this, but now I kind of think it's funny. I kind of think it's comical. Like I'm like, okay, by the time like Mercury retrograde is coming around, maybe I'll feel about it differently. And I think as I've gotten older, I've gotten better at like just moving on from stuff. Unclear if I have some OCD traits about certain situations that I replay in my head a lot. That those are harder to move from.
I feel like hurt people are hurt people, and I just sometimes like I think as long as I can like sit and reflect on something and be like, you know what, I feel like I did the best that I could in that situation, and I truly feel that I've taken accountability for my part, and that there are just some things that are out of your control. People just have shit that you have no idea, and so I think I used to take like specifically dating, like guys like cheating really personally, like what could have I done differently, or like what was it about me that didn't want them to commit. And then you just kind of realize like, babes, that actually like wasn't you, you know, like it wasn't, there wasn't, you weren't lacking in anything, either that wasn't your person. But that's still, even if someone's not your person, like that doesn't really give the permission to cheat. So that's why it's like, that's not you. You can't avoid it, get cheated on. Like that's just not how that works. That's the other person's choice, and you don't know why they made that choice. And like, do you really want to live in a relationship where you're trying to like avoid getting cheated on? Like that's not really how it works.
Yeah. I also think as I've gotten older, I've just been able to accept that, people's actions are just like a reflection of where they're at. And that's just like how people navigate. At the end of the day, I don't know. I'm like not a pro forgiving cheating. At least that's not for me. I see how other
No.
people do that because people aren't perfect. That's just not one that I can recover from. But I see in the way where like people have harmed me, as in like family members, and I think like how I just kind of got through that, but it was by just like accepting that that was like who they were at that point. I didn't have a really good relationship with my mom growing up, and I remember I think when it had to be after 25. I saw a picture of her at like 24, like carrying my sister, and like the drama unfolded in her 20s, and I was like, damn, you know what? Based on her like upbringing and things like that, I don't think she could have done any better.
Yeah.
And I just let that shit go because I was like, well, what the fuck was she supposed to do? Like, she had no tools, she had no family support, and low key, she was living a life that she didn't really like. So, what was she to do? And it's not like she handled it amazing, but like, I'm not beefing. She did the best she could with what she had, I guess, and I'm okay with just letting her, like, forgiving her 27-year-old self because I've been 27 and I was a baby dummy. And I don't
Yeah.
think in her position I could have handled everything perfectly.
One time my therapist said like someone could be giving their best and their best could not be enough. Like the two things can be true at the same time. And so I think that's true with a lot of things where it's like, this might be someone's best. Now, is that sad on some level sometimes? Yeah, but they truly could be their best. Like that person could be the best version of themselves with you, but that could still not be what you deserve. That's okay to move on. And I think accepting that that's just the reality of the situation. You know, the world we should live in is that we're all perfect to each other and we're always the best, da 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 da. But that's just not the reality. I think that's something else like that's helped me move on is kind of accepting that there's the world that like we should live in and then there's reality, you know, like you should be able to do whatever you want without judgment and fucking run around the city naked. But like the reality is that could affect your job, right? Running around the city naked. Yeah, they're two things can be true at once.
Yeah. I think what's also kind of like my last thing that has helped me is that knowing that change is possible. Like, I'm not out here saying like everybody's evil. I think that people can change, but I do believe that you shouldn't like lower where you're at to meet somebody. I do see a lot of people that like hang on and like wait for change, and like if that's your journey, cool. It's not mine. You kind of have to meet me at least at the basic level of like respect. You know, there's basic levels. And if I don't feel like you can meet me, then I'm gonna let you go in peace, love. And like I still believe that maybe you can change. I just don't think like I need to be along for that ride. And if you want to change because that's something that you want to do, that's often how people change is that they have to want it for themselves. They will eventually get there.
How I get over things is I don't like to fantasize about
You got to get real.
relation
Yeah.
relationships or people, and I think a common fantasy that people say is like right person wrong time, and I truly just feel like that does you a disservice to reality. It's like if it was the right person it would have been the right time. Like
Hmm.
if it wasn't the right time it's not necessarily that it was the right person, it just wasn't right, right? Like I think people hold on to like exes like, oh, he was like perfect for me. It was just that we were young. Well, then you guys weren't perfect for each other because you couldn't meet each other where you were at the time. Like how useful is the right person at the wrong time? Like we hold on to that person? I don't think so.
It's a lot nicer when you are already met and you grow together and you're not like
Which is
leading the
totally
charge.
possible.
Yeah.
And another thing people say is like, I fucking hate the like school taxi cab theory, where it's like, oh, a guy just settles with the right girl when he's like ready to get married. I feel like when men find their like I think I just don't like that. Like I think it's kind of evil to other women. Like, oh, your ex married her because it was the right time for him and like it would have been you if you had met him at the time that he met his fiance. I think there's like a little bit of hidden misogyny in that, to be honest.
There's some haterade in that. Yeah, I don't know. I do believe that men have an interesting type of time clock. I don't think that that's the right person though. Like if you feel that way about somebody, like, oh, he's gonna get into a relationship when he's ready, I think you're putting a lot of like value in their choice rather than yours. You know what I mean? Like, let's not centralize men in the equation of like when he's ready to get married. Bitch, when are you getting ready to get married? Is
That's
he
what
the right person for
yeah.
you? You know what I mean? And ultimately, I think if there is a man that you believe is doing that, then I don't think that that would be the right guy for me, because I wouldn't want somebody that's like, I'm ready to get married and she seems like a good choice. Like, I wouldn't want that as my husband.
Oh, the first guy or the first girl he dates once he's like ready to settle down. Like I would hope that it would be like a little bit of combination of the choice. And I also think that if he met the wrong person at when he's ready to settle down, I've had that happen many times, right? Where it's like a guy's ready to settle down and he dates. He doesn't date like marry the first person he dates. He usually goes through multiple people. I just think that it's kind of like a story we tell that there's like this divine timing. No, like people are who they are in this moment in time and does it this relationship work out?
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it doesn't. You didn't find him at the wrong time. Like this isn't some fucking rom com where if you space traveled 3 years into advance, you guys would be together. Like that's a facade.
And you know, if that helps you sleep at night, then go with the theory of he's got to grow without me, babes. You know, if he's gonna meet you, he's gonna meet you. But that doesn't mean like it has to be together. I think it's it's harder to move on when you've endured bad treatment, trauma bonds and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I see a lot of young people fall into this, even older people, where they're just like so stuck into wanting to make something work out of the fact that they already told their friends and family he's a piece of shit. So now, and they lost everybody. So now they have to like hang on because they already lost so much. And
Put so much time into something that they feel like they've lost time instead of like
yeah,
it being a learning experience or appreciating it for the good times.
them trying to rewrite their history with like a bad treatment of a parent that's reflective on that and think it can come out to a different outcome by sticking it through. No, you can't. You're just repeating it. There's just so many things. And it's sad. It's sad to watch. It's sad to see your friends live through it. Ultimately, everybody's on their own journey, judgment free. But I think something that also helped me move on is taking accountability for my part in everything.
Yeah.
When you choose to stay in those situations, you're choosing that for yourself. And I think like if you know that you're the owner of that, it makes it a little bit easier for me to like detach myself from situations or choose to get away from situations that I know that I am, by choosing to be there, I am remaining in that situation. And just how you play your part in anything. If your part is
Yeah.
staying, if your part is also, I know like sometimes in abusive relationships, like people start hitting back and now you're also ugly. Like he just made you hella ugly. You know what I mean? Or whoever, because now you're participating in that.
Yeah, like the moments that you're disloyal to yourself. One moment that I like kind of think might seem trivial, but it's like, damn, I actually kind of played a little bit of a game here. You know what I'm saying? By either not sharing my feelings or like, I don't know, like being a little sneaky and positioning, like, oh, I know he's gonna be at this party and I want to fucking confront him, so let me go to this party. And then in retrospect, you can be like, should I have just never like should I have passed on that?
Maybe not plotted and
Like
added
maybe less
to the lore.
like I was plotting, I was scheming. Was it like evil? No. But is it
No.
really true to myself? Should I be plotting for attention? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
It'd be like that.
You're like, oh my God, I think he's cheating. So let me like low key stalk him. It's like, honestly, is that really healthy? Probably not.
No. But if you need proof, girl, send me their number.
But
No.
then you don't have see, and then you have proof or you don't have proof, and then you feel fucking crazy.
Then you just have to look within.
Exactly. And maybe this just relationship isn't for you. It just like moving on is letting go that things could be different.
Yeah, so I don't know. Be delulu at the fact that like there's something so much better on the other side. It works for me. And then there is. And that's the thing. Like then you get to a better spot where you're just like calm and like no one is making your nervous system feel like you're dying all the time. And you're like, wow, that was so silly of me that I like stuck in these bad situations for so long.
Literally. Ditto.
Crazy. Well, hope you liked this episode. And as always, please subscribe. You can find us on Instagram. Thanks number 4 your concern. I'm at Berenice and
And I'm at Ella L Tutor. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.